The huddle's back working.
Yeah, I called Mike and Bill. I actually reached out in a message to Bill, and him and Mike called me on a three-way and explained to me that they all went to Restream, and what Mike needed to do was send a new link to you. Said he had already sent it once, but he'll send it to you again. And then you had it working today, so I figured you figured it out.
We're all good. We're a bunch of Fonzies up in here. So now we're back in the huddle.
Oh shit, we're live.
I told you we were live. Why do you always say that?
I missed that.
I tell you, I say 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. I'll get it one of these days.
At least it wasn't before the LaFleur. Monday night. It's time to get funky with Main Event Mike.
If you don't like what you see here, get the funk out.
That's way before everybody's time. Come on, everybody. Welcome to the Main Event Football Show. It's me, Donald Schwarzenegger. And I want to introduce you to the show. Take my hand. You cannot do it like Donald Schwarzenegger.
Who's the host of the show, Sam?
It's Main Event Mike. Main Event Mike is the host of the show. We can't use copyrights anymore, so I have to talk like Donald Schwarzenegger.
Welcome, everyone, to the Main Event Football Show right here on the Villain Squad Network, brought to you by NFL Shop. The Villain Squad is a proud affiliate marketing partner of NFL Shop. To get all of your Lions and NFL gear at NFLshop.com. Use that little QR code that's on your screen and leverage the power of the Villain and get 25% off. It also helps our page a little bit, and we're just a couple knuckleheads with a page trying to do good in the world. Welcome to the Main Event Football Show. I'm Main Event Mike. I am your host, and for the next hour, we are going to be talking about Week 3 in the books for the NFC North, specifically the Detroit Lions, by virtue of their win against Arizona yesterday. We are broadcasting live into Facebook in the Lions Villain Squad page, approaching 54,000 villains. Also broadcasting live into Detroit Lions News Podcast, over 77,000 members there in that page as well. Thanks to Joe Chap and the boys for letting us go there. Also broadcasting live into YouTube. If you're watching on that platform, we are at Villain Squad. Also at JC Sports, a real nice partnership that's new for us, broadcasting into JC Sports on YouTube as well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. Week 3 in the books in the NFL. There were 9 unbeaten teams going into the weekend. There are now only 5 unbeaten teams, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But one of the teams that's 2-1 is your your Detroit Lions by virtue of a 20-13 victory over the Arizona Cardinals on the road. Lions go and get it done. They don't score a single point in the second half. Their defense just steps up and shuts the door on Arizona, and they win the game by a full touchdown. They covered the 3-point spread that Vegas had laid on that game, and they did it with defense. Even though when you look at these team stats, the Lions kicked their ass on offense too, up and down the field. I love that you have it there, our illustrious producer. Back there, I have it all handwritten here in front of me, but that's a hell of a lot easier. I love that. 23-17 in first downs, okay? I had 12. It's 20. It was only, I believe it's only 12 first downs. But regardless, we just stomped them up and down in every phase. It's 3-part phase to win in a football game: offense, defense, and special teams. And we dominated in all 3 categories. Did the Lions play their best game? No, they did not, especially on offense. But they were the better team, and there was nothing Arizona could do to overcome that. That's a real character win for this Detroit Lions football team, in my opinion. Going back to week 9 of 2022, since they lost back-to-back games. That's a pretty good accomplishment. That is what this brand new Lions is about: resilience, about bouncing back, learning from your mistakes. And, you know, like Dan Campbell says, it's hard to break us now. It's hard to break us. And Tampa Bay did not break our spirit because we knew we kicked their ass up and down the field as well. Just didn't get it done. 1 for 7 in the red zone, not going to cut it. But this week, Lions weren't taking any chances in the red zone. They pull out the hook and lateral. I mean, people that don't know any better call it the hook and ladder, but it's the hook and lateral play, which was developed in the 70s, made famous, of course, in the 80s by the Dolphins and the Chargers, Eric Coryell, and it worked to perfection. Amon-Ra St. Brown to Jahmyr Gibbs for the touchdown in the red zone, not taking any chances. And I think what really was best about this game was the identity of the Detroit Lions. Look, folks, identity isn't something you just walk around and say, this is my identity. No, you set it. You earn it. You establish it by your play on the field, what kind of team you're going to be. And they walk the walk and talk the talk around Allen Park these days when they say they want to be a violent, physical football team, dominant up front on both sides of the ball. That's what they say in every blurb since this regime has taken over. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. It's exactly what that means. And they embodied that on Sunday. I don't care if the offense is sputtering. I don't care. I don't care if the game before they threw 54 passes and went away from their identity and started getting too cute. They got back to it. And that might make this a get-right game with this win in Arizona. Russ, you got any comments on that? Please welcome to the show my co-host and our producer, Mr. Russell Wayne.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love the game, but the one thing that I wanted to say, because I've already talked about and fluffed up all of the good things about, like, at the end of that game, I just wanted to see them put the game away, Mike. Like, it's like they would run the ball, and then Montgomery would get like 6 or 7 yards, and then they would do this cute little thing, and it would be like a false start that would send it back 5 yards, or it would be an incomplete pass with something that was knocked down, and then they would just be in this situation where it's like, come on, you're up by 10. You just got 6 yards on first down. Like, run it until they stop you from running it, and then think about maybe a play action
In all fairness, I think they did that, Russ, and that's where I was going with that. Was that they established their identity. They were who they wanted to be, even though you and me and everyone in Glendale, Arizona could see that Arizona was playing the run, stacking the box. They ran the ball anyway. They did. I mean, Jared Goff at the line of scrimmage was changing the play last year a hell of a lot more than he is this year. I don't know if it's because the coaches are telling him to, or if this is just him not seeing the coverage, but he's not audibling out at the line of scrimmage as much as he has in the past. He's always been very good at seeing the defense. This is something that he does well. Sure, he doesn't scramble well, even though he does have 3 games in a row with a first down scramble. Love that. Jared Turbo Goff. But they went back to the run. They did not abandon the run. Even when they were stuffed on the run, they continued to run the ball because that's who they are. And they went to their identity, and it was obvious. Arizona was worn out at the end. David Montgomery could fall forward for 3 yards on every play at the end of the game. They could carry him. They couldn't get him down anymore. They had to carry him. What a great play that was, where they carried him for a first down. Let's see who's in the chat. Say hello to everyone today. How you doing, Davey? Welcome to the show. Donkey Kong in as well. Super villain Jeffrey Addison, president and accountant for Big M says, what up? What happened to you, Big M? There he is. Big M. What up, though, Villain Squad? Great tough win, one pride. Hutch is him. We are definitely going to talk about that. Detroit fan man, one of my favorites. Rare Reed Greenfield in the house as well. I love this comment by Brent. Welcome to the show, Brent. Jack Fox is one's going to step in for Davenport. Unfortunately, no quarterback can survive a Jack Fox tackle. It's going to be a bloodbath. Detroit Darcy Maville in the house. Victory Monday. Yes, sir. Great to see you here as well. That's right. When Jack Fox doesn't do push-ups, he bench presses the world. I love it. So that's all the villains that are in there today. If you are watching whatever platform you're on, please hit the like button. It gives us a little bump. It helps. I don't know if you guys know it. It doesn't cost you anything. You just reach over and click it, and we go like this. Yay! That's what we were looking for. Thank you for that engagement. So Lions 2-1. The hook and lateral we talked. Jack Fox. Let's talk about it for a minute because one of our villains brought it up. Dan Campbell talked about it in his press conference. This guy, 5 punts, the average starting line for the opponent, the 8-yard line. That's elite stuff, folks. He had a 68-yard punt. This guy's a weapon. He is barreling towards all-pro. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be embarrassing for how many all-pros the Detroit Lions produce this year, or Pro Bowl at least. I mean, if the injury bug doesn't get him, we're looking at least 5 I can think of right now. You can't leave Jack Fox off if he continues on the trajectory that he has. In the Rams playoff game last year, he should have been the MVP. He prevented the Rams from getting it past the red zone because they always started behind their own 10-yard line last year. He was the unsung hero, and he's just picked up where he left off when this season started. Jack Fox, best punter in the league. Thank God for him. And Dan Campbell knows what he's got, and he's using him finally to flip the field. And we saw that yesterday. I just thought it was a great team win, even though the offense sputtered. Put it in the chat. Let me know if you agree with me or not. Russell Wayne, do you agree with me?
I nominated Jack Fox for Villain of the Week, in which we're going to vote for this. And I want to know what you guys out there think of who the Villain of the Week is. And I think that Jack Fox is it. What are you asking your punter to do? And this guy's banging 4 punts inside the 20-yard line. Let's freaking go. That's what you're supposed to be doing as a punter. This guy is a weapon. They had him inside the 5-yard line on one of those things. And that just puts stress on the offense. And, that offense was doing nothing. This Lions defense is for real.
Right on. And Brent, you know who else is for real? Brent Layton is for real. He is starting a meme movement, Russ. It's a meme movement. It's going to be going down. When Jack Fox stares into the abyss nervously looks away. Jack Fox is the reason Waldo is hiding. Jack Fox has been Chuck Norris's bodyguard since he was 2.
What?
John Herman in the chat today. Good evening, Lion fans. Our good friend Ken Fisher in the house says, hello, main event Mike Russell. My nephew John was at the game yesterday. He's a Lions fan. Having moved from Michigan when he was 6 years old, he made a comment on Facebook yesterday wondering where all the Arizona Cardinal fans were. The stadium was consumed with Lion fans. Go Lions. What a great call out. Sounds a lot like my life, Ken. I moved to Florida when I was about his age, Tampa Bay Buccaneers land, and I went to more Buccaneer games than Lions games, but I was always a Lions fan through it all. So gotta give applause, kudos to the nephew for being a Lions fan even through thick and thin and a big move. Big M says, shout out to AG for containing the dangerous Kyler Murray. Best containment defense I've seen from AG. Agreed. That's the best job we've done on a running quarterback in the last 3 years. And I think it goes directly to the players. I think this is another feather in Brad Holmes' cap. The players that he brought in are more suited for what AG does. AG was trying to fit a square peg in a round hole with the personnel that he had. Last year, our starting corners in the title game was Kendall Vildor. He's now the depth piece. He's now the 6th or 7th guy on the depth chart for corner. Okay? That's what an improvement we've made. Are they perfect? No. Terrion Arnold is a rookie. He's making rookie mistakes, but he's always there. He's there. He was there with Marvin Harrison. He was there with Chris Godwin. He was there with Cooper Kupp. He's going to get the other stuff worked out. Trust me, folks. There's a calls today, believe it or not, there are calls today for Terrion Arnold to be put to the bench by Lions fans. Can you believe it? It's hard to believe. If you look at the stats, Marvin Harrison Jr. was targeted 6 times. Terrion Arnold let him get 2 catches. 2 for 6. And you could tell this is a man-child now. Marvin Harrison Jr., this guy's going to be all-pro, Pro Bowl for the next 10 years, barring injury. He's going to be greater than his dad ever was, I believe. He has all the physical tools in spades over what his dad had. And Terrion Arnold, a fellow rookie, held his own against that guy. And you can look at the stat line and say Chris Godwin got the best of him the week before. But he was right there on every throw. He was never burnt. He was never Jeff Okuda'd, left standing at the line of scrimmage while the guy is gone because he got shook out of his shoes. We didn't see that with Terrion Arnold at all. What do you got, Russ?
Man, I think that's really somebody was calling for. I haven't really been looking that close today. I was spending
multiple posts out there today calling for Terrion Arnold to the bench.
Bitch, please. Like, right. I mean, come on, guys. Really? This is a rookie that has been put out on an island. I mean, honestly, he's had more of a handsy, with a penalty type of thing. But, I've been watching his PFF grades on everything. And one thing is for sure is the guy tackles.
Yes.
Like you said, Jeff Okudah was left looking stupid while the guy's scoring a touchdown. Now, he may Terrion Arnold may give up the play, but he's tackling the guy immediately. And that's the thing. He's been wasted. I mean, he's way better than anything we had last year. Are you kidding me? Stop with that nonsense. Stop with the overreacting. They held him to 13 points. What more do you want from the guy?
Right. And look at the guy he's guarding. The guy he's guarding is an emerging
receiver. Goes 6 for 65. What are we talking about here?
Right. We don't get to play the Giants this year or the Commanders this year. We got to face a top flight wide receiver every single week. Mm-hmm. That's 3 number 1 overall selection quarterbacks in a row, by the way. Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, all number 1 overall picks in a row. That Terrion Arnold, these guys are high draft picks. We're going to face Sam Darnold twice. We're going to face Caleb Williams twice. All number 1 draft picks. The level of competition is great. And Terrion Arnold has all the physical tools. He looks like he belongs out there. For a corner, he has exceptionally large thighs. I noticed it. He has big legs. Maybe that's why he's able to stay as a great core. He's able to tackle well. What does Dan Campbell always preach? Pursue and tackle. Pursue and tackle. And like Russell Wayne just alluded to, this guy tackles. Yeah, he's had some PI. He's had a pass interference in every game so far. You're loving some of these comments, aren't you, Russ?
I'm just throwing some of them in there, man. Hey, we're having some fun here before Monday Night Football, where they got 2 games. But yeah, I think it's a total overreaction. I mean, this defense has potential to be special.
Yep.
I mean, here's something that we need to take an account for. And there was an article in Pride of Detroit that came out, and they had the 6 takeaways. And the Hutchinson effect does this. When you got James Conner rushing a bunch of times for like 17 yards, you're making the other team play a way that they don't want to play. You're boxing them into a corner and making them uncomfortable with everything that they're doing. And that's what our defense does. We're going to take that away. Oh yeah, we better be worrying about, Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones. And it's like, no, we're not. We're not worried about any running back because we stopped the run. We are going to make you one-dimensional. When Sam Darnold plays us, Sam Darnold is going to have to beat us. It's like they're not going to be able to run the football. That's one thing
we are taking that away. That's for sure. That's for sure. We are taking that away. Held the Cardinals to only 77 yards total on the ground. Kyler Murray with half of those. So I love this call out by Brent. Remember Kyler Murray juking Okuda out of his jock strap at the goal line? Yeah, I do. I love this comment from Jeffrey, too. Arnold's been there with the ball. That's what I'm saying. This is way more than we've experienced in the past. He'll get his hands under control, but he's been there when the ball comes. He's there. He's making a play. If he gets his head around a little sooner on one of them, they don't call it. If he doesn't flat out shove the guy as the ball's coming, they don't call it. Right. I mean, I made a joke. I don't know if anyone's going to get it, but I liked it. He's had PI so many times they're going to change his number to 3.14. Thank you. Thank you, Russ. Russ is like my Ed McMahon. He just laughs at my jokes. I love this call by Jordan. Arnold will shake off the rookie effect. Do we really want to see Vildor falling over while the receiver scores a TD every play? What a great call that is. God, that CeeDee Lamb. Did that CeeDee Lamb play win the ESPY for play of the year? You should give that award to Kendall Vildor. He flopped. He took a Superman like a full 2 seconds before the ball even got there. And they gave that the ESPY, I believe, for the play of the year. And Barnes misses Dak in the end zone. Oh, I'd love to have that one back. I mean, what do we I'd like to have back? It'd be that one or the Thanksgiving bomb to Christian Watson from the Packers. That set the tone for that game that sent us down a slippery slope. But those are the two plays I'd really like to have back. Put it in the comment. I think that's a great topic. What play from 2023 would you like to have back? I know some people are going to say, don't look back. It's a new season. But this is a podcast show. It's a live show. It's fun to talk about things. Maybe the face mask off of Kendall Vildor's face mask and Brandon Ayuk scores a touchdown. You like to have that one back? You think J-Mo would like to have that over-the-shoulder beauty that Goff put right there for his third touchdown of the title game to put it away and he dropped it?
How about either one of those Josh Reynolds catches? I bet he wishes he had both of those back. Either one of those catches, the game's over.
Brent's got 3.14 and then the next 20 digits in it. So, Brent, did you Google that? Because if you have that by memory, I'm sending you a T-shirt, brother. Bet on that. Hugh says QB is a number 1 too, Ken. No, he was a number 2, I believe. CJ Stroud was number 2 behind Bryce Young. Great comments today. Some great villain interaction today. What's next? Okay, let's talk about Dan Campbell's press conference today. Did you see it? If you didn't see it, you should go watch it. He's very somber. He's very matter of fact, the way he usually is. And one big takeaway from the press conference is the injuries. And those injuries are Marcus Davenport, by all accounts, done for the season. 7 years in the league, 7 years with a season-ending injury on injured reserve. 7 years in the league, 7 years on IR. All of his detractors, there was no lion I was rooting for secretly more than Marcus Davenport this year, because his detractors, especially in our back chat, are just calling for this guy to get injured and be done. What a waste of a free agent signing and all this. And I really wanted him to prove them wrong, but he didn't. It's an elbow injury. I'm sure it's beyond his control. They say he put on a sleeve and tried to re-enter the game with a season-ending injury. He put a sleeve on and tried to go back out there. So kudos to Davenport for trying. If this was the year that he could stay healthy, like 2019 when he had 14, or when he played 14 games and had 9.5 sacks, if we could have got a year like that out of him, but it looks like it is not to be. Dan Campbell said they are not officially putting him on IR yet because they're waiting for a couple other opinions. on whether or not this is a season-ending injury or not. So as of right now, you could say he's going to be out for a long time at least. Also out for a long time, linebacker Derek Barnes with a knee. They would not commit to putting him on IR. He's going to go to IR. He made that real clear, which would be 4 games at least. But they don't know that this one is a season ender for sure. They want to wait, see how it heals, and see if it's going to need surgery. So this is going to be a wait and see. He's going to be out a long time. You might as well start wrapping your head around this defense without Derek Barnes and without Davenport. And that's big, folks. That's big. Dan Campbell said, unequivocally, Josh Paschal's going to get his chance now. Josh Paschal's going to start at defensive end opposite Aiden Hutchinson. 2nd-round pick from Kentucky, a Brad Holmes pick. We'd love to see his now 3rd year of progression. We would love to see him blossom into that and live up to that draft position. He's going to get his chance, and Dan Campbell said that. So that's a big takeaway from the press conference. A lot of chatter about whether the Lions now are going to search for defensive end help in the free agent market. Yannick Ngakoue is out there. Hassan Reddick still not signed by the Jets. He's being fined every day now. A couple others, Randy Gregory, Yannick Ngakoue. Both of those players, by the way, also an injury history, might make them attractive to Brad Holmes. Injury history with both of those players. But I don't think so. Because in the press conference, Dan Campbell alluded to something else. The practice squad. This is why we always approach it as a 69-man roster, unquote. That's what he said. We always approach it as a 69-man roster, not a 53-man roster. These are just guys that you can start on game day. But all of these guys are available to you, as we saw Tim Patrick being called up, Allen Robinson being called up. As guys get hurt and injured, guys from the practice squad are going to have to step up, the next man up mentality. And Dan Campbell, just unequivocally, I love this guy. He doesn't beat around the bush. He came right out and said it. It's going to be the next man up. I think that in a way, if you read between the lines, says we're not really looking outside for a free agent. If something materializes, that's great. But right now, they like their guys. Would that be Isaac Ukwu coming up from the practice squad? Dan Campbell said before the cut day that he loved Ukwu, and the guy showed out in preseason. We'll get to the comments in just a minute. Russ, did you have a take on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to interrupt the program to say that this segment right here is brought to you by NFL Shop Affiliate Marketing Partners. That's what we are with them. You can use that QR code right there and get the RPO version, Jared Goff, black sleek style right there by using that code right there. And we want to thank you for supporting our channel with that. And what I wanted to say about Brad Holmes right here is getting Josh Paschal in there and getting Josh Paschal to get his opportunity. This is something that I've wanted, and this is something that I think that they've been planning for. When you're looking at Levi Onwuzurike and Josh Paschal, these are the guys that they drafted. These are the guys that they brought in to be the core in the future of this team. So it's like they've been preparing for these things. And Josh Paschal's been out there. He's just been out on the rotation, and he hasn't been playing bad. So I think he steps up into this situation right here, and it's a great opportunity for him, and I think he'll seize it.
Right on. We got some super villains in the chat today. Paul Jones, what's up, fellas? Checking in from work until 11. We got Elise Memes, the queen of memes, in the house. Hi, Mike. Hi, villains. Steve or Tracy or both back in the chat. Great to see you, Steve. They're not practice guys. They're 2nd and 3rd shifters. Right. They're 2nd and 3rd stringers. 3rd shifters. Oh, I get what you did there. Okay, that's good. I like it. Let's put that back up. They're not practice guys. They're 2nd and 3rd shifters. I love how that sounds. Yeah, be sure to follow that QR code. Take it right to Elise's page to see some really funny memes. She's really great. Brent says Laporta and Branch are day-to-day. Yep, that's where I was going next. Also, Lee McNeil considered day-to-day is what Dan Campbell said. Sam Laporta and Lee McNeil day-to-day, and Brian Branch in concussion protocol. He's not listed day-to-day. He is in the concussion protocol and trending upwards. There is a good chance he could play on Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks. Russ, did you have anything else before I ramble off into my next topic?
Oh, no, you're all good. I shrunk back into the bushes. Watch this. You.
like Homer Simpson.
Yeah. You got the visualization, didn't you? Yes, nice.
Awesome. All right. So, next topic that I wanted to talk about is, and then there were 5. Went into this weekend with 9 undefeated teams. We come out with 5 undefeated teams. Kansas City Chiefs and the referees are 3-0. The Buffalo Bills are 3-0. Justin Fields in Pittsburgh is 3-0, Bears fans. How you like that? You're 0-3, and Justin Fields is 3-0. I mean, that's so crazy. I mean, that would be like if, let's say Malik Willis were to get traded to the Packers and then have to go to Nashville, and then he rings up 200 yards in the air and the Packers were to beat the Titans in Tennessee. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh, wait, that happened too? Yeah. The Minnesota Vikings are 3-0 against some good teams and the Giants. So the Vikings 3-0 with Sam Darnold. Who'd have thunk it? And there's one more team, folks, that's 3-0. And that's the team that the Detroit Lions are going to face on Monday Night Football this week. It's those damn Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks coming to town on Monday Night Football to Ford Field. It's already confirmed. Lions going to be wearing the black jerseys. Everybody's going to be out of their minds for that. It's going to be electric down there at Ford Field on Monday night as the Seahawks come in after beating Dan Campbell 3 in a row. Other than the divisions, the only team Dan Campbell's played every year as a head coach, and he's lost every time to Pete Carroll. Now they come in 3-0, looking to go 4-0. They've also beaten the Lions in the last 6 straight. This is a team we just have not been able to beat. I always believed it was Pete Carroll. I always believed it was Pete Carroll out coaching our coaches where it matters. And this time it's Mike McDonald, a rookie coach. But you know what? He's got him 3-0 out of the gate, folks. Yeah, Elise says, those damn Seahawks. Steve says Seahawks always a tough out.
Would you want to break me down and say, I'm afraid, Mike. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of those damn Seahawks, Mike.
What does the big Cajun say about those Seahawks?
Oh, let me find the Cajun.
What's that big Cajun say about him? Yes. The Seattle Seahawks coming into Ford Field on Monday after beating the Miami Dolphins 24-3. Okay, you know what else, guys? I'm not sold. I don't know if they're sold. This was a Miami team that didn't have Tua. Skylar Thompson's not a starting caliber quarterback in this league yet. And then he comes in with a chest injury also.
There we go, minimizing.
Geno goes 26 of 34 for 289, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, 86.5 QB rating. It was a sloppy, ugly win against a prideful Dolphins team, playoff team. And they got it done 24-3, beat them by 3 touchdowns. So, you know the Lions aren't going to be taking the Seahawks lightly. But I think it goes even beyond that because Jared Goff hinted a few weeks ago on a morning radio program. They said, how's it feel to be the hunted instead of the hunter with having a target on your back and other teams gunning for you? And he unequivocally said, look, we've got a hit list of our own. We've got teams we're gunning for. And he kind of briefly alluded to some losses last year, but he didn't say which team or which losses. You've got to believe that the Seattle Seahawks are one of those teams that Jared Goff personally has it stuck in his craw after playing against them with the Rams for those years, that the Lions can't beat this team. I think he's going to be on a mission. I look for Jared Goff to completely outduel Geno Smith on Monday Night Football. I think Jared Goff goes over on all the statistics. Take Jared Goff on Monday night if you're a betting person.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Those damn Seahawks don't know what's gonna come at them. What you gonna do, Seahawks, when the Detroit Lions run wild on you?
Brother. Jeffrey says someone needs to go paint the end zone walls black this week. Yeah, that's such a great call. Go paint them black, and then everyone can accuse us of cheating. John says we're going to break the Seahawks jinx this week. Love it.
The
That would be Tooter. Tutor. So Seattle coming in. Guess what? They're beat up on the offensive line. Aiden Hutchinson. I said this morning on the morning program that he had 7 sacks. I was adding those up in my head. And this morning, the official stats from the NFL are 6.5. So my apologies to anybody that watched the show this morning when I said Aiden had 7 through 3 games. He only has 6.5 through 3 games.
Come on.
But guess what? He gets to go up against a third right tackle option in Seattle. Fant is out. Abe Lucas is out. They're on their third option at right tackle. So another big chance for Aiden Hutchinson to come through. With DJ Reader there clogging up the middle and freeing Hutch up, we've been seeing the effects of having DJ Reader on the defensive line as opposed to Benito Jones. Okay? Just a higher level of talent on defensive line and technique, knowing how to manipulate the gap, how to close lanes, how to free up your other defenders behind you, free up lanes for them. We've been seeing that. And we're going to get another chance here in Seattle. Expect Seattle to do a lot of these quick throws, a lot of these quick rollouts, what we saw Matthew Stafford do to us. The Cardinals, for some reason, seem to continually try to push the ball downfield. But the Rams had some success to the short to intermediate throws on the edges. Look for Seattle to do the same. Man, do they have a talented wide receiver trio. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Those are 3 dogs. Those 3 guys could play on my team any day. I mean, Geno's got some weapons. They're expected to possibly get Kenneth Walker, the third back. A lot of their offense flows through K9, through Kenneth Walker. So getting him back would be a big shot in the arm for their offense. But on the defensive line, they're hurt also. Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams, 2 starters, both out on the defensive line. So that could work to the Lions' advantage. But guess what, folks? This is those damn Seahawks. John Schneider knows how to draft. Every year he drafts well. Pete Carroll always gets the credit for it. But it's John Schneider who has final say. The GM in Seattle, and he's one of the tops. You don't hear his name like Howie Roseman or Brad Holmes, or Brett Veach, but believe me, he is considered around the league as one of the top 5 GMs in the league every year. Devin Witherspoon would be a Detroit Lion right now, but they snatched him up right in front of us. They come in and they beat us every year, and then they somehow are drafting in front of us every year. That's frustrating. And they take the players that we're targeting. They could get Kenneth Walker back. They also could get back Nwosu, their linebacker, who's a Pro Bowl caliber player, has been out. They're 3-0 without these guys playing. But he is a rookie coach. It's not Pete Carroll this time. I think that's going to bode well for us. I don't think Mike McDonald's seen anything like Ford Field on a Monday night yet. Seattle last week in a sloppy game against Miami committed 11 penalties. Okay? That's called shooting yourself in the foot. And against a good team like the Lions, you're not going to get away with a win if you do things like that. Geno Smith threw 2 picks in the game. You're probably not going to come out of Ford Field with a win if you do that. They have a guy also by the name of Boye Mafe going into his 3rd year, I believe. He's in his 3rd year, maybe his 2nd year. He is right behind Aiden Hutchinson, top 5 in pressures in the league. He's worked his way into the starting lineup. Yeah, I think this is his 2nd year. He had a great rookie year last year. Now he's a starter, and he's tearing it up so far this year. He's making up when Nwosu's being out. Oh, Ken, that's a Michigan State running back. Oof. Oof.
Oh, no. He couldn't be good.
Elise says, I'm loving all the guests tonight. Hell yes. I love it. Yes. Yeah, it makes me want to go watch wrestling just so I understand half of the impressions that Russ does. But for those of you that do, I know you appreciate him, and I love him. It's hilarious. Donkey Kong says Holmes might actually make a trade for a defensive end. Like I can see it this season. Really? Nah. No one else sees it. No one else sees it, Donkey Kong. I mean, it would make sense, right? This is the year. This is the window. We still have plenty of room under the cap. Right? We still have plenty of room. We got money to pay someone. Hassan Reddick on a 1-year deal? Take it. I'll do it. 1-year deal. You have to buy out the Jets contract or something. I don't know how that would even work. Actually, the Jets haven't even signed him. He's not even signed his contract yet. So it would have to be a trade. The Jets would have to get something out of that. Not just a free agent like we were talking before, Donkey Kong. I'm glad you brought this up. Because Hassan Reddick, as great as that might be, there's a reason why he's on his 3rd team. He might not pass the sniff test, right? The eye test. He might not have the character we want. I mean, because you haven't heard anything about us even being interested in him. But the Jets are going to want to get something back in that. They have all the leverage because they're just barreling along. And he's not playing. What do you got, Russ?
This is not what Brad Holmes does. It just isn't. Like one thing that on this network, I want to just be clear with that. We got to know this. This isn't what he's going to do. Ukwu, the guy that's on our practice squad that's been practicing with the team, has a way better chance of just getting elevated and next man up mentality. He's been practicing with the team. He knows the defense. James Houston's going to get hit. He probably won't be a healthy scratch next week. Like these guys that we're down on the depth chart are just going to get elevated. And frankly, I'm excited for that. I want to see these next men up. I know Davenport was somebody that you were rooting for and everything, but I never got my hopes up about that. And you know what? They didn't pay for all of that. They paid by the game, really. Mm-hmm. And that sucks for Davenport, but it's not really costing because this man knows how to bring in a whole bunch of talent. So now some other people are going to get some shots. But we are not going to trade for anybody outside of Allen Park out.
Yeah. I you may be right there. But I do like what Donkey Kong is saying here. He might actually do it now, Russ. I mean, this is just hitting me as he puts this comment up. This Super Bowl window is open. This offense isn't putting it together, but we can already see this defense is making strides. Going into yesterday's game, they were ranked 21st overall in defense, 4th against the run, 17th against the pass. Last year, they were 27th against the pass. So it's improved only 3 weeks in. As one of our commenters says, as they start to gel, they're going to start to get things figured out. It's going to be better.
So I won't die on this hill, Donkey Kong. I'm not going to die on the hill. It's just from what I've seen, in the 3 years that he's been doing stuff, going into year 4, it just doesn't seem like something that he would do. Now, would I be upset if he traded some capital to try to bring in a really, really good player right now? I mean, I would be happy. I mean, depending on the player, it could be good. It could be good. I just don't see him doing it.
What would Christopher Walken say? He'd say it would be good.
Well, I mean, if Christopher Walken was here, he'd say, if we were going to bring in a guy that could rush the passer, it would be good because somebody could get pressure on the other side from Aiden Hutchinson, and that way he could get more sacks. And if Christopher Walken was going to be here and bring in somebody from the outside, I don't know if I trust this guy on the outside. Do you trust this guy? It's like, who is this guy?
It could be good for you.
I don't think it would be good. It wouldn't be good for you. It wouldn't be good for you to do that. Christopher Walken, I mean, he has the knowledge, man.
Right.
He knows. I mean, he it transcends.
Brett's take here. Brad Holmes is saving money to pay the guys he drafted. Ali McNeil, Levi, Barnes, Iffy, Hutch, and Jamar are getting contracts before next season. Now, this is a take that we've had here on the Villain Squad. And it's funny that you mentioned Aleem first, Brent, because we also were of this belief that he's not going to run out and get free agents because that money's earmarked for the guys he's already got. This is the only way he's going to be able to keep this salary cap fluid. Otherwise, all the bills come due at the same time, and you get in cap purgatory. So we agreed with that as well, but things may be different after this Arizona game now. Now there might be a need. He did say in his press conference today that John Kaminsky is a long way from being back. So another pass rusher over there does become essential. Maybe we could come off some of that money. Maybe we could make a trade like Donkey Kong's been suggesting, a trade for a character fit guy, maybe a guy who's not a world beater, world burner, but a real solid production guy out there on the edge that we could bring in. Well, I don't know. That would be an interesting one to explore.
I mean, but you were talking about the 69-man roster, though, Mike. I mean, and I do believe that they don't just talk about that. That is that. Like, I mean, to me, I want to see Ukwu. I mean, I want to see these guys. I mean, these guys are all young, talented guys that, they're here for a purpose and they earned their spot. I don't know. Somebody from the outside that just doesn't seem like the culture thing. They built something in there, going through training camp. There's some like street cred that goes on with the Lions, with the camaraderie of their team. Just some outsider pops in and be like, okay, that might be weird. I don't know if they would do that. But I mean, for something outlandish, cool. If it's something like Hassan Reddick, but is that really a fit? Is it? I don't know. He's talented.
Right.
We like the talent, but, we got something good going here with the feel goods of,
Rookie Mekhi Wingo had a couple of pressures when he was in the game as well yesterday. And this goes to Brent's point. It says Houston, Pascal, Wingo, and Levi play defensive end opposite Hutch and bring up Ukwu. I'm not sure about Levi playing defensive end. He is a classic specimen of a defensive tackle. He just doesn't have the tools to play defensive end. I don't see that. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's been lining up there, Mike. But the thing is, when they've been lining him up at the defensive end, it's more of we've been given some 3-4 looks because that was that versatility of Derek Barnes, right? You could have the big nose, and then you can have the two big ends. And he was one of those with Derek Barnes, and he's been having some success getting at the passer and getting pressures.
He's had a solid season, 40 snaps a game, whatever. He's had a solid season, but I guess I should retract that statement. What I'm saying is he's not your prototypical edge rusher defensive end coming hot and hard off the corner, right?
Sure. Yeah. You're right.
So, but yeah, he has played defensive end, so I do stand corrected there. And Ukwu did have a good preseason. Yeah, Zach Charbonnet drafted out of UCLA, Ken, but I believe he play for Michigan? I think he did play. You might be right. I forgot about that. We had a Charbonnet. I didn't realize. I never knew it was the same guy until you just said that. I like this call by Jeffrey, too. I hope we spend some time practicing on Ford Field to minimize the slipping from week 2. And it was bad, the slipping in week 2. Carlton Davis especially had a hard time on the Ford Field turf in week 2. And some speculated that maybe they didn't get enough reps inside the building to get the proper shoes. And let's hope we don't see any more of that on either side. I hate seeing that. I hate when things like that interfere with the outcome of the game. Aleem McNeil listed as day-to-day, so that could figure huge into what happens on Monday night on that defensive line. I mean, I feel good that we get that extra day at least, that we're playing on Monday night. We'll get that extra day of rest. Maybe we can heal up some of these dings and bruises that we've got. Another thing Brad Holmes talked about today in the press conference was the depth at linebacker. It does suck that Derek Barnes is going to be out, and especially with the way he was playing. He was playing really good football. But Dan mentioned the other guys in that room and that they have a lot of confidence in them. Ben Neiman, Jalen Reeves-Maben, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jack Campbell. It's a solid room. No superstars in there, no world beaters in there, no Ray Lewis, no Roquan Smith in there. But all of those guys, they have a lot of confidence in. And that's an area on this team that I think we could suffer an injury like Derek Barnes and still stay on course for our trajectory. Now, if something were to happen like that at wide receiver, I wouldn't be so optimistic. Brent says, how many games does Bromart have to miss starting the season on IR? I thought I heard it was more than 4 weeks if you start the season on IR. Broderick Martin, the way that the IR works is it is 4 games. He would be eligible to come back week 5, which is a bye, which I just think that he's going to come back in Dallas. Right. And that is it. It's 4 weeks. Yep. That was the old rule. That was the old rule that if you went on IR before the start of the season, then you had to be out for the year, right? And I believe they changed that rule. But it's a great question. I love people in the chat that make me think, even when I look wrong, because it means we're having a good conversation.
Well, we're usually wrong, but that's cool.
Right. Jeffrey says Anzalone didn't play and Barnes went out and we still held our own at linebacker against Arizona. Good depth. Done right. And that's what he was alluding to in his press conference. That's a place we can suffer an injury and be okay.
Ben Neiman up from the practice squad. I mean, he played less than 10 snaps, but for what they needed, he was there and he played well.
But Ben Neiman's played a lot of reps in this league. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Jalen Reeves-Maben is an all-pro special teamer. He's a top-flight player. So, he did have that penalty on the late hit yesterday that made me go, but I felt like that was ticky-tack too. The guy looked like he was possibly still up. Yeah. So Dallas Cowboys lose in Dallas to the Baltimore Ravens 28-25. They're now 1-2. And the Philadelphia Eagles now 2-1. And this is going to have implications, I think, when the Detroit Lions come in week 6. They're in the same kind of dogfight we are. A lot of similarities here with this Cowboys team. A lot of expectations. A fan base. The 2 fan bases aren't similar, but passionate fan bases, that's for sure. I think this week 6 matchup against the Cowboys is going to be huge. Oh, look, Brent's got it right here in the chat, too. You're a step ahead of me, Brent. Dallas is going to be a cage match. Take no prisoners. Trophies of the days are kneecaps. Right. That's where I'm going with this. I think them losing yesterday to Baltimore in the way that they did, they tried to come back and fell short. That's deflating. They've got some division patsies they can beat up on in New York and Washington. They better win those games, folks, or they're going to be calling for some heads in Dallas. Same here, Jeffrey. Besides the Packers and the Cowboys, it's a dead heat. Who I can't stand the most. Rodrigo's a solid depth piece at an even 6 foot, maybe 5'11". Kid's a fire plug, isn't he? I love the way he just plugs the hole, stops the run. Rodrigo, the man. You're watching the Main Event Football Show, brought to you by NFL Shop on the Villain Squad Network. The Villain Squad is an official marketing partner of NFL Shop. You can get all of your NFL gear, including them hot black jerseys. You can get an order delivered in time for the Monday night game right now, and you could be sporting that new black jersey. And if you use our code, you get 25% off. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? You're going to get one anyway. Might as well give the villain a bump. 25% off. Be sure to hit the like emoji or the heart emoji. It looks like someone's hit a mad emoji. That's okay. You can hit a mad emoji. That works just fine for me. A laughing emoji. Mad. If you like Russ's impressions, hit a laughing emoji.
Maybe it's a mad emoji. They didn't like my impression.
Steve says Dallas has no run game and can't stop the run. Think we'll dance right over them. Yeah, well, in that stadium, you better have a 3-touchdown lead, regardless of how you got there. Because people don't usually come out of there with close games. I love it. Do you hear music? I hear music. I hear music in the background. Is that music they won't ding us for?
It's just like the smooth. All hits.
So, Russell, before we sign off, we make our predictions, folks. Every morning at 10 a.m., Russell does a show called Lions Villain Report. I'm sure you all know about it. If you don't know about it, every 10 a.m., Monday through Saturday, he has special segments. He does a lot more voices, and he has a crowd and an audience that's interactive with him, and it's a really good time. On Thursdays on that show, we make predictions for the week's games with former NFL receiver Mark Schmidt on the program. And we did this week, but there were 2 Monday night games tonight, and we only picked one. We picked the Jacksonville at Buffalo -5. We all took Jacksonville because we're dumb, probably. Betting against Josh Allen, who is 3-0, by the way. I really want to take this pick back, but I'm going to have to ride with it, because it's now on our YouTube archived forever.
Yeah.
But there's another game, Russ. It's the Washington Commanders at the Cincinnati Bengals -7. T. Higgins is going to play. And I got to get your prediction. And I'm going to have to send a private message to Mark and get his prediction, because this one got left off the list. And right now, I have 10 correct picks from last week. I picked 10 correctly. You only picked 9 correctly. So it's like the first time ever that I beat the Swami. So with this pick right here, I'm going to automatically take whatever one you don't take. Okay? Which means I'm doubling down. So if you get it right and I get it right, then I'd still be up 1 game on you.
Right. So what is the score?
It is Washington Commanders on the road.
I mean, me and
at
you.
Cincinnati, -7. Last week, I picked 10 out of 15, and you picked 9 out of 15. So if you get this one right and I get it wrong, it'll be 10-10 and a tie, and I will not have officially beat you. But if you pick a loser, I'm going to officially beat you for the first time, and this is big for me. It's almost better than this awesome trophy I won in fantasy football. It's almost as good as this Emmy nomination I got.
Wow, Mike, I'm flattered. It makes me feel like I've earned that Swami title.
Dude, I've never outpicked you in a week. Never. I tied you a couple times. Like when I was in high school, I fouled one off Jim Abbott. That's like the best I could do.
You're doubling down.
I'm going to take the opposite of whatever you take, and that's the Commanders at the Bengals -7.
Commanders at the Bengals. Man, give me the Commanders. I want the points.
You're getting 7, Russell Wayne. The Washington Commanders +7 points.
Yep. I feel pretty good that I'm already on the plus side of the pick, and you too. Congratulations on 10. For you to get 11, that's good. Mike's dialed in, everybody.
Right.
He's dialed in.
Mark Schmidt picked 8 out of 15. So we'll get his pick on this one as well. You got Washington. I got Cincy. The spread is 7. Tomorrow is Tuesday. It's PFF Tuesday on the Villain Report at 10 a.m. Be sure to tune in to Russell Wayne and the Villain Report tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks, everyone, for watching all on the live. Thank you also for watching if you're watching this pre-recorded on our page, Lions Villain Squad on Facebook. For Russell Wayne, I am Main Event Mike, telling all of you to have a great day. God bless each and every one of you. One pride.
It's a great show that Main Event Mike did right there, and you should watch the Villain Report in the morning at 10 a.m. You should watch it. It could be good for you. It could be good for you.